Your starter line is perfect. You run one Cleffa and one Tyrogue, enough for you to be able to get the donks, but hopefully not too many so that you're constantly getting donked yourself. You only have two other lines of Pokemon in your deck, Slowking and Floatzel. Floatzel's water acceleration allows you to attach a water energy from your hand to Floatzel. While this is a great tech to have in your deck, it doesn't fit with anything else. What this is typically paired up with is Blastoise. Washout lets you take as many water energy attached to your bench and move them to your active Pokemon. So what you aim to do is attack with Hydro Launcher, which it returns 2 water energy to your hand, reattach them with Floatzel's water acceleration in one turn, and then wash them up to Blastoise. Your other Pokemon line is Slowking. You run 4-3-4, so I'm assuming that you think that you need to go through Slowbro to get up to Slowking. But both of these Slowkings are Stage 1 Pokemon, meaning that you don't need to go through Slowbro, and so you can toss those out of the deck completely. The Prime Slowking's power is Opponent's Choice, which lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, but your opponent gets to choose which card you get to keep. This could be helpful, and this could also be hurtful, so I'm really not a fan of Slowking Prime. The rare Slowking allows you to use the Pokepower Second Sight, which lets you rearrange the top 3 cards of either your deck or your opponent's. If you have 2 Slowking on the bench, you can do both. This can be great disruption for your opponent because you can make sure that they don't get what they need at the time that they need it. Unfortunately, neither one of these can really hit for a lot. Psyshock hits for 30 with a chance of paralysis, Super Cybolt hits for 60, and Floatzel hits for 60. Neither one of those are really strong, and you can't really knock out too many in one hit. So I would recommend throwing the Blastoise into the deck so you have a very strong attacker. And I would probably recommend taking out the Prime Slowking and reducing their rare Slowking down to a 2-2 line. Since you're going for a little bit of disruption in this deck, I would throw in at least a 2-2 line of Weavile. Clawsnack's Pokepower says that when you evolve Weavile, you get to look at your opponent's hand and discard any one card that you like. Feint Attack for 1 dark and 1 colorless also lets you snipe any Pokemon that you want for 30. This can be great for knocking out babies, or for any Pokemon that's just trying to run away to the bench. Let's take a look at your energy line. Right now you have 27 energy, which is almost half of your deck. I would drop that down to maybe 12 to 15, depending on what attacker you'd like to go with. You're running 3 DCE, 10 Psychic, and 14 Water. The only reason you would actually never need to use DCE at the deck that you have now is for Slowking. It does speed it up a bit, but it is still not a necessity. However, if you do decide to throw in Blastoise, DCE would work great with it. Since your Slowkings are mostly techs, you're not going to want to attack with them. I would drop the Psychic either completely or drop it down just to 2 or 3, just in case you have to attack. Your water energy line can greatly be reduced too, to put your total energy count somewhere in the teen range. Moving on to your trainers and supporters, I noticed that we don't have anything to get out basic Pokemon. So I would recommend a combination of 3 Dual Ball and Pokemon Collector, depending on what you have. You run 3 Elm, which I think you can drop down to 2, because if you can throw in the cards that search for basic Pokemon, you can always use your Pokemon Communication to swap them out for evolution cards. You run 2 Twins, and I'm not sure if you need 2. Typically I only see 1 in the deck, because you're not going to try and be behind on games. This is just a in-case card. Your recovery line is pretty good. You run the 1 Flower Shop, which I recommend in every deck, as well as 2 Fishermen. I'm not sure if you need the 2 Fishermen though. You shouldn't be discarding that many energy with this deck, and if you're worried that you are discarding some energy, any more than 3 that you'd be getting back with Flower Shop, I recommend throwing in Energy Retrieval since it's a trainer and doesn't use your supporter for the turn. You run 3 Professor Oak's New Theory. Well, I think that's a great number. I think you could push that up to 4, and possibly also add in a Juniper. That ensures that you get the hand refresher cards when you need them. While your Floatzel and babies have free retreat, your Slowkings don't, and if you decide to run Blastoise, he doesn't have free retreat either. So I would throw in 1 Switch just in case you need to get them out of a tight predicament. Switch is also great for sleeping babies. I would include at least 2, if not 3 Junk Arms so that you can reuse the trainers in this deck. Switch, Energy Retrieval, Pokemon Communication, Dual Ball. Junk Arm is just a great card all around for using whatever you need it for. So those are all the suggestions I have for this deck. Pretty much the only thing it's really lacking is a very strong attacker, but you've got great tech set up. If you'd like your deck reviewed, just send me a PM with the list, and whether you'd like a video review, which will take around 2 weeks to get up, or a blog review, which can take around 2 days to get up. Thank you for watching.